Dr. Justine Lemos. In this practice, I'm going to give you some tools to release the areas of the neck and shoulders. These are areas that commonly get super tight when we're stressed out, or even just all the time. It's the areas where the Supraspinatus, the Levator, Scapulae, the Trapezius all get into a knot. So for this practice, you'll need 2 balls. Tennis balls work, lacrosse balls work, yoga therapy balls work, and a sock. And you'll take your balls and you will place them into your sock. It's nice if you have another third ball that is out of the sock. However, you can always just release them from the sock. Then put them in your sock, twist it up and tie it off nice and tight so that you'll make this tool. You can even tape balls together. It doesn't have to be pretty. Some companies make sets of 2 balls that go together, but basically you want a shape like this, and you want it so they don't slide apart really easily. You want it in there pretty tight. Okay, so we have that, and we have a couple of other balls. And we're going to use this as to roll and release the fascia of the back of the neck. Now the fascia is the connective tissue that surrounds around the muscles, and when it gets tight, scar tissue or adhered from dehydration or overuse, underuse, injury, inflammation, it gets sticky and it doesn't slide and glide. And when it gets sticky, that's when we experience pain. So you're going to take this tool and you're going to place it right at the base of the neck, just underneath the shoulders. And the first thing we're going to do here is we're just going to pin on these and just drape the body over them. And keeping the jaw soft. You can stay here for several minutes, several breaths. It's really up to you. And then as you're ready, you're going to begin to roll on the balls forward and back, and you can lift the hips. This will be more intense, or you can leave the hips low. So you're going to create this rolling motion with the spine in between the balls, and you're going to roll through the shoulders and through the backs. This can be very intense, especially the first time you do it and you begin to release that fascia that could be very stuck. The next thing is you're going to begin to shimmy from side to side. And then release down. Take your hands behind your head and slowly lift your chin up towards your chest. You may find that the whole back of the spine, the cervical spine, begins to pop. Then press into the feet and slowly roll back and forth. This is a pretty deep massage. Then with the balls roughly underneath the clavicle, release the back of the head down onto the mat. Now, you could place a blanket underneath the back of the head if the neck is too tight. Take the arms up towards the sky and begin to just move them in slow circles from the scapula. You may feel things pop or release. You can also lean side to side here. And you can do this for as long as you like. Then press into the feet, roll until the balls are just underneath. If you were to draw a line from the nipples straight down, underneath the heart center, and come here to a supported fish posture. So the next thing we're going to do is some scapular release. Here we'll need 1 ball. And right here is your scapular ridge. If you reach your hand back over to your shoulder, you'll find this ridge of bone that moves up all the way to the shoulder, right across here. A parallel line to your clavicle. It's here, and then you'll find a flat area underneath the scapular ridge on the scapula, so right here. So I'm going to take the ball and I'm going to place it onto the scapular ridge, and I'm going to come down here and lean back with the ball underneath the scapular ridge, opening the arm into a cactus shape. And this may be quite intense as we begin to release through the back of the shoulders. And then we'll take the other side, so same thing. The scapular ridge is right here, this bony ridge. And the ball's going to go right underneath it on this flat spot, so right about here. And I'll go down here and I'll place the ball right underneath the scapular ridge into the flat area. And then as you're ready, you can release and come up to seated. Now the next one is going to be for the forearms. Nice to have a little bit of elevation. You could do this on a countertop. You could do it on a table. You're going to take your ball duo and you're going to place your wrist into the balls. It's a little easier this way. And you're going to roll back and forth. And this feels very good, especially if you do a lot of typing or texting. Really get a nice release here. Breathe. You really want to go slowly. And you can go over the elbow. And the other side, you can take a lot of time to go through these areas. And over the elbow. And then here, do a little bit for the legs. And just doing this at night, you know, you can do it if you watch TV or as part of a yoga practice, you'll find a remarkable reduction in pain, stiffness in the body. So this is just the shin in between the two balls. If you want more intensity, you can cross the other leg on top of the shin. This also gives you quite a little bit of an ab engagement. And then other side. Again, you can cross over. And then onto the quadriceps, placing the balls into the quadriceps, and you can tuck the toes and roll onto the thighs. And the other side. And then release and come to a child's pose. And press up into a downward facing dog to stretch out the backs of the legs. And then take your knees down. You can come to seated on your knees, or you could place a block underneath your tailbone. Here we'll get a little bit of a pectoral release. The pectoral muscle runs from the shoulder down to the chest. You can take the arm to a cactus shape, and you're going to begin to take a ball and roll underneath the clavicle and around the pectoral muscle. And if you do a lot of yoga practice, a lot of chaturanga, this pectoral muscle might be quite tight. We'll get pec major and pec minor. Pec minor really never gets stretched or released unless we do a kind of maneuver to get in deep, because it's deep underneath pec major. So you're going to take your armpit, essentially, hands into the armpit, and you're going to pull your armpit towards your midline, and you're going to take the ball and press it right here. And this, it might be very, very intense. This is pec minor. And you can roll the ball down the side of the chest. It also encourages lymphatic flow. The other side, just take the armpit, pull it to the inside, and then place the ball right here. Slowly roll the ball downward. And then release the arm. But from here, you can come onto your back, releasing into a Shavasana. And you can stay here for several moments, feeling warmth through the muscles and fascial tissue that has been released. I hope that you've enjoyed this practice. Namaste.